The rapture is described in the Bible in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 16 and 17, as being when Jesus Christ comes back to earth and takes up his church to heaven. And the church is all the people that are believers in him and not the buildings.
22% of Americans claim to be certain that Jesus is going to come back to earth and judge the living and the dead sometime in the next 50 years. Another 22% think he probably will. So that's 44% of the electorate who are basically convinced that he's coming back in their lifetime.
Personally, I think it's going to happen within my lifetime. I'm 47 now, and if I live a normal life, then that would be in the next 20 or 30 years.
Now, when you unpack what that conviction entails, it is perfectly maladaptive to planning for a sustainable future for the human race. It's maladaptive, certainly when it comes time to avoid global conflict, because by the lights of these prophecies, global conflict is actually the precursor to Jesus coming back.
Hearing different Bible scholars saying the things that are going on in the world today, pretty much everything has happened that the Bible said has to happen before the return of Jesus Christ. So if it's all happened, we're pretty much ready to go at any moment.
It really is not an exaggeration to say that there is some significant percentage of the American electorate which, if they turned on their television today and saw that a mushroom cloud had replaced Jerusalem, they would see a silver lining in that cloud.
About 6 years ago, upon inspiration by God, I believe, I started a website called RaptureLetters.com. The website is provided for people that have spoken with their relatives and loved ones about the kingdom of heaven and haven't been able to witness to them properly, or they just weren't convinced of anything. So they can go on my website and put a name and an email address, and the people will get sent a letter after the rapture takes place. The letter will hopefully provide some comfort to those people that receive it, and let them know that their loved ones are in heaven now, and that it also gives them a message and allows them to say a prayer to become saved and hopefully get into heaven themselves.
Insofar as people like that elect our presidents and congressmen, and insofar as they get elected as presidents and congressmen, that's a terribly dangerous state of affairs.
You'll have someone make up a fake quote or misrepresent the document, misrepresent the evidence. Then they'll put it on a website or put it in a book that's published by what people think is a respectable publisher. And then hundreds, thousands of Christians will read this and believe it because they assume, well, this guy wouldn't lie. He wouldn't have made this stuff up. And so they go and repeat it. And so you get the lie repeated many times, mostly by people who aren't lying, who really do think it's true, but they just didn't check.
101 Last Day Prophecies, just some of the things that are supposed to happen. Literal Babylon, formerly called Babel, would reemerge in the land of Shinar. The land of Shinar is known as modern-day Iraq. And Saddam Hussein spent over 20 years rebuilding literal Babylon. As a matter of fact, I heard he had Madonna come in to christen it.
Faith really is a conversation stopper. If somebody says, it's my faith that life is sacred and God creates life and man should not meddle in it, and that really stops the conversation. You can't challenge someone further and treat them as though they're drawing their ethics out of the Iliad and the Odyssey, which is really what I think we should be able to do. When the President of the United States says, I plan to appoint common sense judges who know that our rights are derived from God, I think someone in the White House press corps should be able to stand up and say, how is that different from thinking you're going to appoint common sense judges who think our rights are derived from Zeus? And that's clearly an impertinent question, but it's a totally reasonable question.
Unfortunately, it says in the Bible that there will be a multitude of people that go to heaven after the rapture. as well as the 144,000 male virgin Jews. The multitude will be wearing white robes. It's mentioned in the book of Revelation. And the number is too numerous to count, it says. But those people are also martyred. Most of them will lose their heads over their faith. So it's much better to accept Jesus as your Savior now and get taken up in the rapture than it would be to wait till afterwards and have to lose your head over something like that.
You know, here's the thing about Scott. I like him. He's a nice guy. He's a productive member of his community. He's a contractor with his own business. He supports his wife and kids. He's not crazy. At least, I hope he's not. Because I used to believe the same things,